Hello guys and girls, let's go over how to build a follower today. What we want to looking at is what characters do we have and what do we want from our follower. You see this main build that I have on my Scoundrel is a setup you can use for every character. Let's also go over why I have some of my shit on. So one of the first things you want to remember here, if you go with two pieces of set, you can use the Royal Ring of Grandeur on it, so he gets all three of them. In this specific season, we don't need the double up of that breath, but I still like it, so it's one way to go with it to have more of that. So we want to use the bell and the feet for the sage. The other two pieces is gonna be canes, which will be the pants and the hands. Why we want to use the canes is because we have a chance to get more greater rift keystones. So for every key that drops, we have a 25% chance of another key. So if the 4 dropping, we have 100% sure one more. It should be that way. It probably isn't. Everything we want also here is estimate. So any kind of gear that estimate means it's the same as if you had it on yourself, which is why the canes and the sage working. So we need to remember the gear on him is the same if we had it on ourselves. So what does this mean for example, the broken crown? It means that it doesn't matter if he have a German or not. So the color he has in has nothing to do with the extra dropping, because it's like you had it in and I'm using a blue one, so it will drop a new blue one for me and not a green one. We need to remember that. It's also one of the reasons why the Flavor of Time is so overpowered, because it also gives us the time and not the follower. It's also why we get an extra lead every time we open a shrine. So all of these things is to buff us. When you run a normal rift, why not get a little bit more gold, right? So that's why we use this. Again, we can save some money, we can save time, by none of our gear will be destroyed. So yes, please. And because of the way we build the followers now, we have gained access to all skill on no matter what character you run with. And all of this is happening because we use 2 of the legendary gems for our follower. This one specific is the strongest one of those. The Molten Waldemar Duchard give him a shield every 4 seconds he's not being hit for 200% of your total life per second. So this is really good. We want to give him as much as possible. For the second one, if he should lose some life, we give him a ton of extra resistance for the time being. So how do we know if this is good or bad? Because we cannot really see the skills here, can we? So I'm gonna click on Control and hold it down. And as you now see, everything will come up, which is really nice. And it also shows us why it's so important to have more dexterity on this guy. So how can you roll the gear correctly? If you're rolling the gear, for example on your Witch Doctor and want to go with that, all the gear will have intellect on it, which is kind of annoying, right? But the good part is, if you have a level 1 character, for example a monk, and you want to have the Scoundrel, you go on a level 1 monk, you go over to the Mystic, and now when you reroll, all the gear will, instead of having intellect on it, you can reroll to dexterity. The more dexterity, the stronger he is, the stronger you get from all his buff. So what is the difference between these characters? I will now show you. For example, if you have survivability problems, the Templar with the same gear other than the weapon and the shield will have the same bonuses. Again, he will then have red gems in his gear and strength on the gear. Again, how do you make strength gear? You simply just go in, make a level 1 character that use strength. It can be a Crusader or Barbarian, and then re-roll it at the Mystic, and the gear will now contain strength instead. The higher main stats, the better character. For survivability, there is none better than the Templar. Because alone that his survivability, if you get fatal hit, gives you actually a 5 seconds shield, which is quite a lot. And at the same point, he also heals you. He's the only one doing all that for you. The rest of it gives you more survivability all over the top, so give you healing, he taunts your enemies, he give you more healing. He even makes sure that they are slowed. Everything is to buff your survivability and your resource with generation. Like, why should we then choose the sorcerer over the scoundrel? It's because of this. You can get cooldown reduction, which for many people is really important for the setup they're running. The other one is some people runs with really high elemental damage, and then this specific thing makes that works really well. Also, Seamaker Guided Orb that slows the enemies, so if you need the enemies to be away from you, it could be a good thing. For most of the melee sorceress classes and stuff, they do take a lot of damage from ranged attack, which again makes the sorcerer really strong for you. The survivability here is not the best, because it only makes you go into a phase that comes out and you still need life, so you need to save at least a potion here and there to maintain that life. Again, here you can get some attack speed, which could be good for specific classes. So all over, run with the gear that is the main setup. Change between weapons and stuff, whatever you find the most important one. Some people want to run with two hands on characters, but if you follow a hit it, when it has like 10% less life, it instant kills. I'm not sure if it works on the follower, but it is one opportunity. So, other than the Royal Ring of Grandeur, you can run with whatever ring you want. But if you're going to kill some bosses and you want to stand still someplace, this one is going to put down a big yellow spot that you can stay in, and you increase the damage by 85% for the time being. That's why I like that. So guys, this was the guide about how to set up your follower and get the maximum out of what you need. I do hope you enjoyed. Always remember you can come into my Twitch channel on The Zulus. I will be here and always offer you free assistance with whatever you need. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.